Welcome to the Mustafar Manifesto.
So this is episode 3 now.
This is episode 3, Mustafar Manifesto with me, Tom, my homie Jayce.
Hello.
We just watched the Mortis arc.
Total of 3 episodes. It was pretty good. It was one of my favorite actual arcs in the Clone Wars series for a number of reasons.
I haven't seen it in years, honestly.
Yeah.
And I thought I remembered what happened, but I did not remember a lot of what happened.
No, there was even some new stuff that I forgot about where just small little things where I didn't really pay attention to the first time around, but seeing one of the things I like to enjoy is all the background elements and how that plays out, because there's always little tidbits of just, oh hey, you see this is pretty cool, notice all these patterns or whatever.
Yeah, and they still never explained, at least I didn't think they explained the very beginning when they're going. Okay, so the first thing is they said a distress call had been sent from the Outer Rim.
Yeah,
was that the father sending out?
I wouldn't say so, because their other ships are at that location. I'd say just a bit further past that location, because there was a distress call, because I think in another set of episodes they kind of refer back to that. But yeah, at the beginning they went into this giant, diamond type thing in the middle of space, and they just get swooped up by some light.
Yeah, just fly in the light, enter a different universe, wake up,
and just casually land. Nobody knows how. They just were like, oh hey, we're here now. I didn't land this. You land this shit? They're like, nah, I didn't land that shit. Like, where are we?
I mean, they were literal Force deities.
Yeah.
I guess. Right?
Yeah, they're Force deities, because
he described them.
Well, with how the father said it was something along the lines of they took that form to oh man, what was it? They
said they were some kind of anchor.
Yeah, well, I mean, the place alone,
an anchor for the Force,
which I guess it's a planet, but it also looks like a ship.
If that's what even that was, really, I guess we don't really know.
But they refer to it as a planet, but the father also refers to it as a prison and a sanctuary.
Right.
So he could have made it.
Oh yeah, he definitely created it to keep his children there.
Yeah. And so I don't know.
You know what I realized too at the very end of this? I don't think we ever saw the bird with Ahsoka.
No.
Does that not come until later?
I think so.
Or there's no way we missed it, right?
I don't remember seeing the bird. Nah, I mean, if the bird showed up, then it would have shown up at least sometime in the last episode for it, where because there's a lot of dealing with the daughter in the casket, so they could have easily done a handful of things for oh hey, here's the bird that's associated. I mean, and it is confirmed that bird creature, whatever it's called, is associated with the daughter, right?
I'm pretty sure.
That's what I was.
Her spirit or some sort of embodiment of her.
That's what I was always
her
told.
And Ahsoka are definitely connected in some way.
Well, I mean, she gives
her life energy.
Yeah, to Ahsoka, and so Ahsoka has a little bit of her inside of her, which is cool, I guess. But with one of the backstories, which they didn't touch upon it either. I mean, I guess there was the fountain where the fountain of the dark side with
the well of the Sith.
Yeah,
which is
the well of the
just
Sith.
A volcano.
Yeah, which is still cool. I always enjoy the lava stuff. But,
yeah, it's just a lot of foreshadowing too. I feel like for Mustafar and all that.
I mean, that was a really cool shot though of the sun showing Anakin. Spoilers if anybody is concerned. I mean, I guess this episode is about it, but we're past that point. If of the sun showing Anakin all the events that will play out like throughout the rest of the series. Not even just like the rest of the Clone Wars into Revenge of the Sith, into even bits of A New Hope, where like you see, you see fucking Alderaan blow up because Vader is on the ship when Alderaan does get blown up,
Shows
or
him all
Death
the
Star.
death. So what's his plan in that moment? He's because in his head he still has to defeat the Jedi. We never really knew exactly what his plan was. Just wreak havoc
Who,
with
the son?
what Anakin's idea of peace was, because it wasn't become Vader. He was all Sithized and stuff from the sun, but he was like, to stop
Yeah.
what I'm going to become, I'm going to have to do terrible things, which is just kind of.
So like the son's goal was to bring some sort of balance to the universe by destroying both the Sith and the Jedi, which I guess makes sense because that's what a lot of the Grey Jedi's and even Ahsoka's
So
like.
the sun is Kylo Ren? No, I'm just kidding.
Hey, that's spoilers, man. For the sequel trilogy that everyone so desperately loves, and so with like I guess his whole point was to not have a specific like have one side because he had a lot of the same philosophy of there's no difference between light and dark side of the Force. It's just the Force.
Yeah.
And he even says to Anakin that putting a label on each side, it makes it so simple.
Right.
So
they go into that gray.
Yeah, and like because he just wanted, I guess, to destroy both Sith and Jedi. But
I think he was just being corrupted too.
Yeah, but he wanted to end. Yeah, I guess so, because at the first of the 3 episodes, he talks more about wanting to also get rid of the Sith, but as it goes on, you don't really hear him talk too much more about that.
Right.
But I'm kind of bummed that they didn't really talk about, which was one of the original things I was gonna say, was that they didn't talk about the, I guess it's like a force pool or something, where some of the background lore knowledge of um, the Mortis arc and just the planet is the planet just called Mortis?
The planet, I guess, the planet of Mortis.
Yeah, so there's like a specific spot where the daughter and the son both basically become this embodiments of the light side and the dark side of the Force, whereas to gain to get the dark side of the Force, the son drinks the water from it, whereas to get the light side of the Force, the daughter bathes in it. And there's a whole other like separate character that also ties into that whole water stuff also, and the father.
Besides just those three, who's not in.
Yeah, she doesn't show up. I don't think she's a canon character anymore. I think she's more of Legends, but like I don't know, there's the symbols that were with the father and the, well, I guess not the father, the daughter and the son.
Oh yeah.
Where you see it in the Sith well, where they all kind of like stand and talk to each other, commingle, if you will.
You see the sun symbol.
Yeah, and in the throne room of the father, you have the whole little like back part of his throne that has 2 symbols that kind of represent both of his children, and throughout the entire lining of that castle, I guess it would be a castle, whatever
Temple,
it is.
castle.
Yeah, whatever it is.
The whole episode did kind of feel like, I mean, I know it wasn't a Jedi temple, but it did give me those vibes.
It did. At one point I thought, wow, that could actually be kind
All
of
that
a
old
cool
school Force architecture and stuff.
And so there's also throughout, this could just totally be reading into things, and I told you it when we were watching the episode, where the walkway going up to the father's chair has these little triangle things with the circles on top that reminded me of the
Oh yeah,
doorway.
the whole walkway looked
Yeah.
like the light paths and stuff that Ezra and Ahsoka were walking on in the world between worlds, and the different little panels and stuff that Anakin was walking on up to the Father totally looked like the different portals and stuff. And I wouldn't be surprised if maybe that was some idea that Filoni maybe had in his head.
Well, it
Because they are these like ethereal beings, they must be able to travel through
it
dimensions
would
and
be
realities and stuff.
interesting because the Father says that time isn't really like, well, that whole place there, time is different. Like
Right, right.
the whole, even they pick it up like really quickly, where it's
Yeah,
like,
Obi-Wan says that the planet is the Force.
yeah. And then throughout the entire rest of it, everybody else makes a comment to it. Almost everybody else makes a comment to it. The Father says that it's an amplifier. Qui-Gon even says it's an amplifier. And then there's everybody having their own little visions.
Yeah.
Uh,
Oh yeah, Ahsoka seeing, I guess what would be what we know as now is the Rebels version of herself, but back then it was just an idea.
see, now,
I mean, maybe not the literal Rebels version of herself. Maybe it was just a vision or something. But that's kind of an interesting idea,
well,
especially with all the
could it
new alternate realities and
could it
stuff possibly
be a
going around the
different
sequels.
Ahsoka? Because if the time can be altered so, like, minorly as the, like,
Oh god.
yeah, I know we're getting into multiple timeline shit now. Fun stuff. Whereas, like, what if that's to Ahsoka if she didn't get kicked out of the Jedi Temple? If she stayed,
Yeah, maybe.
and like, yeah, that would be interesting to know. Like, what would have happened if Ahsoka stayed in with the Jedi Order?
She probably just would have been slaughtered.
I don't know though. She escaped Order 66 once before.
She had some backup.
I mean,
She had Rex, bro. She had a homie.
true. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. I wouldn't want Rex in my back if I was trying to survive Order 66. Obi-Wan's just always getting out of stuff. He's always falling down things and then
Yeah, he has a lot
cuts
of.
and he's just like holding on a leg.
It was cool to see Qui-Gon, like Qui-Gon's whole little bit with
Oh, I
Obi-Wan.
love that. I totally forgot about that one
Yeah,
also. I was so psyched when he came back. Because he comes back and he talks to Yoda later also, right?
yeah, I believe so.
I thought that was his only appearance. I totally forgot he comes back.
No, one of the reasons why I like the whole Mortis arc is one, they start to introduce you to the Force deities, which is cool. The Wills, that's what they're called. I kept on calling
Right.
them what?
I said right. The
Yeah.
Wills, yeah.
Um
That's the
I
different faces, right?
yeah.
The 6 different faces.
I kept on calling them the Fates because I consider them kind of like the Fates of Greek mythology to the Star Wars
Okay.
universe. Yeah, that's why I call them that if I can't think of the names. But we should see the Wills later on. You have obviously the father, son, daughter. They even those three show up also in Rebels, very briefly, where
On the temple wall, right?
yeah,
The really old Jedi temple wall.
yeah,
And that's how he gets. Yeah, that's how he gets.
yeah,
in
that's how
there.
it goes in between to the in between land between life
Between
and death.
land.
Ooh. And so that was one of the cool things is where they start bringing up more of like crazy spirituality part of it that could be thrown into all this. The scene with the father just straight up pushing Anakin's lightsaber closed.
Oh right, they did that a few times where they just kind of wave their hand.
Yeah,
and
like
closes the lightsaber.
what the fuck are you gonna do?
I love that. I remember being a kid and always wondering why they just never did that to each other with the Force.
I don't think they would be strong enough.
Pressing the buttons, they're just like,
Yeah.
oh, wait. Oh, okay. I need to stop making comparisons to the sequel trilogy because I was just gonna say,
Yeah.
doesn't Kylo Ren turn it?
But then all of the like force visions that they all get, seeing Qui-Gon show up again and basically just asking Obi-Wan, hey, how's it going?
Right.
Like, how's training Anakin?
Man. And that was really Liam Neeson, right? Definitely sounded
I
like Liam Neeson.
I honestly could not tell you. I hope so. It'd be cool if it was.
I'm just gonna say it was.
If we're wrong, then people can get all uppity in the comments. Uh, then Anakin seeing his mom again, which
It wasn't really. That wasn't really a vision, though, was it? That was just
I guess it
the
was the
sun
sun
messing with him.
manipulating it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which at the start of there, I thought it was a little bit of the daughter, but then I guess it was just only the son who did
Right.
it. And like the whole that whole like centerpiece where the son and the daughter bring Obi-Wan and Ahsoka to where
For the
Anakin is.
test, yeah.
Yeah, there's a whole big yin yang cool looking thing.
Right.
With that, I feel like I've seen it in another temple or later on, or in some
That
other
specific design on the ground.
yeah, or something similar to that.
I don't know. I can't think of any off the top of my head. With Rebels, I know it was on the wall, and they sort of matched up the lines to make a sort of pattern.
Yeah.
In The Last Jedi, there's the temple with the sort of circular symbol
Yeah,
carved into the
Luke's.
rocks on the ground with the water in it and stuff.
Hmm.
All those temples sort of have a real similar look too.
And then let's see what else. There was I still hold to my statement of a lot of that. I guess technically the entirety of the series could have been prevented if Anakin decided to stay and watch over the children.
Yeah, I mean a lot of things could have gone differently with that whole arc. It's a crazy arc to even
No, it
to
does.
do that and be like, hey, this actually happened.
Like,
And what floored me too is I totally forgot that they remembered everything by the end of it. I thought when Anakin gets his mind wiped and they wake up from the flash, that they all forgot the entire journey.
no, they're
So that means going into Revenge of the Sith and Ahsoka, they all remember meeting these like deities of the Force on this crazy planet.
well, that's the whole thing. Like Yoda meets the Wills and says nothing.
Yeah, that's true.
Like he learned the future and isn't like, yeah, hey, we should probably prepare for this. But I think there's like some logical roundabout reason why and everything. I think, I don't know, maybe Yoda seeing Luke and Leia in the future and them setting stuff right also. But with them, even the three of them thought Anakin to be the chosen one. And Qui-Gon says something along the lines of beings that also believe that he might be the chosen one, or believe he is the chosen one.
Right, they didn't know for sure. The
Yeah.
father was just kind of going out on a whim
Yeah.
that this would help keep balance in the universe, I suppose.
Yeah, it is. But even Obi-Wan still says he has a higher midichlorian count than anybody else.
Any
still.
known Jedi, yeah.
Yeah. So I guess that also plays into it because, you know, if he is high enough in the Force, then he could keep them both at bay relatively pretty easily.
Oh yeah, I mean he did it. He just did it. He wasn't using any extra.
I mean, he was using the amplification
It was
of
an
the planet too,
amplifier,
but like that
Obi-Wan or Ahsoka wasn't
Yeah.
gonna be able to pull that off right there. So do you think that the Ahsoka show, when it eventually comes out, will go back and touch on these storylines and the Rebels storyline? Obviously, it's gonna have to touch on the Rebels storyline
Yeah.
with Ezra and stuff.
I don't know if they would. That would be actually pretty interesting if they like in a couple episodes they like she mentions Mortis or something.
Yeah,
or,
because there's still a really big group of people that know about Ahsoka now that are only going to watch things that are live action and not go back and watch these really long cartoons. And I feel like the Mortis arc is pretty crazy. Like it should be known about by more common.
Yeah, the
audience,
Mortis
I
arc is
suppose.
definitely one where it plays more into just the actual lore, and then the actual events that also play out later on in the series, where it's a really good depiction of they have a clear goal of where they want the show to go, but they're also pulling a lot from the old and already made stuff.
Right.
Where they're like, hey, we're going to tie this into this, making it kind of, flow more. And then you're like, wow, that's actually cool. So if you go back and watch them all, you're like, oh, hey, I know more about that.
Yeah. Yeah, and they'll do it good. They know how to tie these things in. I do hope they just touch on it a lot, though. I want her like talking about what happened and that she met these beings one time.
Yeah.
Maybe even I think it'd be. I want to solidify the Clone Wars. I mean, I guess it's not necessary, but this is just something I think would be cool. Solidify the Clone Wars and Rebels with just some live action flashbacks, just so we can like. I want to see Hayden Christensen with a young Ahsoka and Ewan McGregor,
Yeah.
even if it's just for a few seconds. That would just. I feel like it would just really put it in there. It'd be so satisfying to see.
Yeah, I would, with the live action stuff, I would definitely like to see. And what would I like to see with that? Specifically with the Ahsoka show, I would really hope that they would touch upon the world between world stuff and like the whole alternate dimensions and how you can change stuff. I would definitely, because you'll obviously probably see the bird in the Ahsoka show.
I still think that bird in Mandalorian was the
Probably.
bird.
So if they
I feel like I've heard people say that it was
even
just,
if they throw that
I'm
in
wrong.
there, then they would most definitely probably have it'd just be a background element like it has been through a lot of Rebels and the Clone Wars stuff when it starts to show up. I don't know when it shows up in the Clone Wars though.
Yeah, I can't remember when it first appears either.
But definitely like
we'll find it. I feel like a lot of these episodes are going to be me rewatching episodes of the Clone Wars that I haven't seen in a few years and just being like, "Oh my god, remember this?"
I would like them to definitely do some stuff with the daughter. Which how because Ahsoka would technically be very much connected with the daughter.
Maybe we'll get Visions episodes about it. The Star Wars Visions, the anime.
I keep forgetting about that.
Yeah, because I just feel like there's so much potential just for random short stories. Maybe we'll get some sort of small arc on them before what we saw in the Clone Wars or something.
Oh, speaking of before the Clone Wars, and still tying to this, what was it? The distress beacon that called them there.
Yeah, that's what I was.
Like 2,000 years before than where they are now. Because you made a comment about where it'd be Old Republic, that the code or whatever.
What was that? Oh, right, it was using a really, really old code, a 2,000-year-old like distress code or something like that. And so they went out there. That must have been like when they sort of first maybe arrived.
Yeah, because
and so that's why they have a code that old.
At first, the father kind of makes it out where they wanted to escape from it all, but that's where Anakin brings up the whole thing of, oh, so you made it a sanctuary, and then the father's like, well, it's also, prison to keep the two children. And then you have it when they come back, and Rex, I believe it was Rex, right? Or was it Cody?
It was Rex in the ship at the end of the episode.
Yeah, and he was like, yeah, I've only been gone for a moment. Like,
right, yeah, they did some of that interstellar shit.
Yeah, another reason why I like it was the whole warping of time, like where time didn't apply really much there because it ran as its own sort of cycle.
Right.
And the visuals for it, I thought were really cool, where you saw like the blue trees where they're basically just, I feel like they were just forest trees. Because then they came right back when the sun came back up.
Oh yeah, everything sort of died and then
Yeah.
gets revitalized. Living planet. Whatever planet, but you know what I mean.
I mean, yeah, I would still really like to know more about the actual outside structure of it, because that's not ever really explained in the episodes, at
Right.
least.
I feel like he did build it. I feel like it's some sort of contraption that the father built when they made themselves solid beings or
Yeah, because
whatever
the
to.
whole inside,
Because how
because it
could it be
has
a
an
prison if?
outside exterior, but then
Right.
the entire inside of it would just be one big fourth realm. So it could be whatever he wanted it to be.
It's basically like a little wormhole or something.
Oh, and then if he created it, when he kills himself and everyone dies at the end, spoiler alert, everyone dies.
Quote unquote, bringing balance to the
Yeah,
planet. That's what he said.
universe.
You've brought balance. I guess balance just means murking everybody.
Well, I mean, if both the light side and the dark side are dead, then there's. I would say that's pretty fucking balanced. But he also killed himself, which is pretty savage, I guess. I guess one of the reasons why they're kicked out of it is because it would be his own realm that he kind of just created.
Yeah, I wonder if because it just was gone.
Yeah. Like, yeah, so I don't know.
They just woke up instantly.
So yeah, since he is just the Force? Because when he dies, he just poofs off like a Force ghost, like how every other being.
Maybe there's
of
a
the
father Force ghost out there. Maybe you'll see him at some point.
Ahsoka show. 20.
There's so much potential
Yeah.
for that.
Yeah. Especially with the Ahsoka show. The Ahsoka can get into a lot more like crazier
She's
and
so
trippier
cool.
timeline shit.
She just is like the coolest Jedi, I feel like. Every time I think about Ahsoka, especially older Ahsoka, ever since I've seen Dave Filoni, he made this drawing after Rise of Skywalker came out, because you know how you hear her voice in Rise of Skywalker, so everyone's like, oh, she's dead. Dave Filoni retweeted or drew some picture with Gandalf the White standing next to Ahsoka and be like, they thought I was dead too, or some shit like that.
That'd be fucking awesome.
And so, literally, every time I think about Ahsoka in that white robe with her staff, she's just like this crazy wise
Space wizard.
space wizard that just go more like space Buddhist wizard that just goes on the path of the Force.
I mean, she has
Seems like not what we saw exactly. I feel like the very end of Rebels definitely isn't what we saw in The Mandalorian. With the white cloak and the staff.
Yeah. That's a bit more
Because
aged.
when we saw Ahsoka in The Mandalorian, I was expecting that sort of like ethereal.
She reminds me a bit of what is it? Ayla Secura? That was the same race as
the
her?
Twi'lek.
Was Ayla Secura
Ayla
the
Secura was
Twi'lek?
a Twi'lek. Shakti.
Was that Shakti?
Shakti was the Torguda.
Yeah, that's what Ahsoka was. Right? I believe so. Here, let's
You're gonna have to look it up. I don't remember. I think she was.
Alright, let's see here. Yeah, the Torguda. That's
okay.
the race that she is.
They are the same race. Okay, that makes sense.
Let's see. Yeah, Jedi Master Shakti. She
Yeah.
reminded me. I got a lot more of like Shakti vibes when I saw her show up at the end of Rebels.
What? We don't know much about Shakti, do we? The only image I have of Shakti in my head, I guess we see her a little bit in Clone Wars, but the main image I have of Shakti in my head is Force Unleashed version of Shakti.
She in the Clone Wars, she is a part of the training for the clones.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, she's in charge.
That's in like season 2, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I watched those recently.
Well, I guess one of the main episodes is one of the first. I think it's episode 2 of season 3, where you see like the rookie cadets, where you see Fives and Echo and all that.
Right. Yeah, the first training. I'm gonna do that too. Now that we've watched the Mortis arc, I'm just gonna start from season 3 and go down and rewatch all that.
I mean, season 3 is a pretty good start. There's
I've seen the first 2 seasons. I rewatched them recently. I feel like, and then I just got distracted with the Mandalorian season 2, and then it's been a while since I've gotten back to the Clone Wars. Got a lot of stuff going on. We got WandaVision.
I mean, yeah, fair. So, let's see. Is there any other closing out things for the Mortis arc?
Other than it being awesome.
I mean, it is pretty awesome.
I don't know.
I enjoyed also like the beast that the children turned into, where like the daughter was kind of like this griffin.
Oh
type
yeah,
of thing,
that was interesting.
and the son was the bat. And one thing I thought of is how do you think Palpatine would have responded if he discovered that place?
These people, I almost wonder if he knew about it. Probably not.
I don't think he would, because even the father said very few know of our existence anymore.
Right. I don't know. He would have found some sort of way to. He just would have murked the father in the.
I don't know though. Like, he might have tried to clone them,
Oh,
because he was
I'm
very
sure.
about cloning, especially during the Clone Wars. Like, because I just finished the Zillow Beast whole episode, and at the end they're making Chancellor Palpatine to be out like this whole anti-animal endangered species dude, like fuck PETA and all that.
Right.
And then at the end he's like, "Hey, yo, scientists, heads up!" Like Mean Joe Green from the Coca-Cola commercials, and just tosses some DNA to the scientist, like, "Oh yeah, clone that shit." And the scientist is like, "Oh, clone it?
Oh my god. What if we saw you just talking about cloning just made me start thinking of legend stuff. What if we actually saw like evil cloned Luke?
That would actually be pretty cool. Like full dark side Luke. We're like
a Captain America scene where they both fight in Endgame.
I would really like them
That might be too
to
over
just
the top.
like go extreme with like a clone dark side Luke, where they make him like the Sith Lord who just eats planets,
or just literally have him
just unhinge his jaw and eat planets.
No, I mean literally bring Darth Sion, right?
I think so.
Just bring him into the fold. Just say he's alive now and has been in the Outer Rim.
Yeah,
and just
bring
have
us
him come and have
bring us the Old Republic canon, because he was during the Old Republic.
Yeah, but you just say he's still alive and just bring
I mean,
him in now.
Palpatine's still
They
alive.
and Disney can do anything they want. They can just say it's happening now. Dude. Alright, I think we wrapped up the Mortis stuff.
Yeah, you think it's pretty good. I think
Yeah.
I thoroughly enjoyed, like, that's one of the major arcs in the Clone Wars series that I always remember, where I think back, I'm like, yeah, that was some crazy shit that happened there.
It's one of those episodes that makes you think about Revenge of the Sith differently too.
Where it ties in more of like the future stuff throughout the whole series. It's one of those episodes where they really tie in a lot of the prequel stuff and a lot of the original trilogy stuff.
Yeah, some of that dialogue, the dialogue between him and his mom, really felt very like prequels.
Yeah,
Prequels-y dialogue.
like
Kind of like, my love. Da, da, da.
yeah, which honestly, at the start of there, that's why I kind of thought it was the daughter of like, oh hey, find your acceptance of letting them go. You're making this yourself to like kind of
And then it turned
sway
into, you're
him.
still holding on.
Yeah.
Let go.
And who was it? I think it was the brother or the son, who had a little bit of a Palpatine in his voice.
Oh yeah,
during one of the
well,
scenes.
it was Sam Witwer doing the voice, and he was probably just trying to sound sinister, and he voices Palpatine in The Force Unleashed. So he probably just accidentally mixed it a little bit, and that's why you hear like some of
That's
his
great.
little growls and stuff.
Also, the slight variation of the Imperial March where when Anakin comes back to the ship to try to take off with the sun,
Oh, right.
and it's that whole little. It's slightly tweaked.
Yeah.
Where it's not quite the Imperial March, but they give it like this nice subtlety to it, where it's like, oh hey, this sounds like it, doesn't it? But I guess we're gonna now get into the second part of this, where it's the more casual discussion about whatever.
Random discussion. Random discussion and the,
Random discussion time.
you
Where's
know,
do I not have a lighter?
there
I
should
brought
be
a lighter.
one over on your left over there.
Oh, there's a black lighter.
Yeah.
Thank you everyone to come into our rambles. We'll start up again. So Tom, you had something on your mind.
Oh
if you'd
yeah.
like.
So something randomly popped in my head when we were talking about legend stuff, and then bringing Disney just bringing things, old things and new stuff. I know the actor who plays Finn doesn't want to really do it anymore, but I would love. I see him as like a Kyle Katarn type, like Jedi character, and I just really want Kyle Katarn to be involved in some way.
So Kyle Katarn, he's the one from Jedi Knight and Jedi, or both
And
the Jedi.
both
Knight.
of them, yeah, you play as him, and then he's your master, and
I need to. I've been playing through Jedi Knight Academy, which has actually been pretty fun. It's if you can get past the old video game graphics, if you can easily sit down.
a classic. I think most people.
Yeah,
know it's a
I mean, but
classic,
like
too.
with some people, like maybe the graphics are something that they don't like about old games. But like if you can casually sit down and like play Diablo 2 or Baldur's Gate, and even if you can play RuneScape. Yeah. It's a good game. It's the only one so far out of them
Yeah,
that
I used to play it.
really played. Well, RuneScape, yeah.
No, my bad. We're not on RuneScape.
But Jedi Knight Academy, I've been playing through that, and I've been having an absolute blast every time I go through it. Like,
Academy's fun. I kind of want to just play it on my Xbox, I think, because sometimes the motion, the controls using the Joy-Cons is not very satisfying trying to play it.
I mean, do you play
want a Pro controller or something? Maybe I just need
I
a Pro
have
controller.
a Pro controller, but like I play it a lot of times in handheld.
Yeah.
To like if I'm just like in bed or whatever.
It's really hard to shoot.
I don't shoot.
Playing the second one.
Yeah,
where you play as Kyle Katarn, you don't have the lightsaber for like the first 3 levels. It's kind of a pain in the ass.
I tried what? That is the second one?
Yeah.
So I tried the second one and I was like, this is kind of annoying.
It's cool though, because you like progress. You eventually go and you like meet Luke on Yavin 4.
I mean, it takes a bit to get the hang of it. For me, at least, it took a little bit to get the hang of it, of like the whole motion with shooting and everything.
Yeah.
But then going into Jedi Knight Academy, where it's more of like,
they're just like lightsaber right away.
Yeah.
We're not putting you through that again.
I mean, you have still the option to shoot, but like, who's got to do that if you want to play as Jedi?
Right. Yeah, there's really no reason to ever switch over. Yeah, I want them to really bring in the Kyle Katarn. Or actually just do Kyle Katarn. If we ever see Luke again. Sebastian Stan is Luke? You down? Sebastian Stan, Winter Soldier?
Oh, that's Luke?
Yeah.
Huh.
You should use your phone and just look at a picture of his face right now.
No, I could see him. Huh, that would be interesting. To not have anything like spoiled for me or ruined or be all like, oh, I didn't like it because it was like this. I'm gonna have, if they decide to do any canon movie with young Luke and not do the whole de-aging thing, and they pick somebody else to play young Luke, I'm gonna have the same philosophy that I had with the Solo movie when it came out. I don't really care what he looks like, so long as he could play the character well.
Do you feel like he did in Solo?
I felt like he honestly did pretty well as a young Han Solo. which is why when
The biggest thing
everybody,
that threw me off was his voice.
yeah, I guess so. But like his
But I felt like the way he
mannerisms
acted,
and
yeah.
how he actually seemed like he put in the effort to try to be like,
Yeah, for
because
sure.
it would it's the start of his whole kind of career, so he's more rambunctious and going out. Whereas, like, even when you see Han Solo in the original trilogy, he's still kind of silver tongued and trying to slip his way out of stuff, but he could be a bit more cautious with it. Whereas, like in Solo, he was a bit more gung ho with everything.
He's pretty gung ho in A New Hope.
Yeah,
That's one of my favorite scenes in A New Hope is when he, especially as a kid, when he just grabs a gun and he runs at him and goes ah, ah, and then just
yeah,
starts
just in the Death Star, just running after them.
runs past Chewie and he's like go.
Yeah, I thought he did pretty well. Which was the thing, like when everybody was complaining about, oh, he doesn't look like Han Solo, blah blah blah, this that. I'm like, I don't care if he looks completely different, so long as he can actually portray and play the character that we all know and love. Well, I'll be okay with that.
Chewbacca did the best job at being Chewbacca.
Oh, 100%, hands down. But I don't know what everybody has been talking about. Oh, get Leonardo DiCaprio fucking Golden Globe or Emmy or whatever the fuck it was. Get
I think he already got one though.
yeah, he did, or get Johnny Depp one, or get Will Smith one. Where's Chewbacca's? Like, I know he got the fucking medal and everything for helping save the galaxy, but like, come on, he's done awesome performances not only in live action but also in animation.
Where's Chewbacca's Emmy? Damn it! Golden Globes. They've had a lot of people. I don't think they've just had one person play Chewbacca since it's been new stuff. I think they've just had a bunch of different people. Because I remember it was sort of a big deal. They had like the new guy come in for Force Awakens and Last Jedi. But then I never heard anything about him again. I don't know if he did it for Solo and Rise of Skywalker, if they just had different people swap in and out.
Well, I mean, the dude who played Chewbacca, is he still alive? I thought he passed
Peter
away.
Mayhew, no, he died. Oh, when did he die? Sometime last year, I think.
Huh, interesting.
Or not 2020, 2019, I think.
Well, that's a lot of people in 2019.
And 2020.
I know I brought this up on an earlier. I think I brought this up on an earlier one. The dude who played the original body dude for Boba Fett in the original trilogy.
Yeah.
He recently passed
he
away. He not only played Boba Fett, but he also played.
He passed the day the episode came out. The Big Boba episode.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
I remember hearing about that. He played a couple other background characters too.
Really?
I forgot who, but yeah, he played as like 2 or 3 other characters in the original trilogy as just kind of like a background person.
That's dope.
Then what was it? It was if back to the original subject, everyone, before we started rambling off about Chewbacca and his Emmy, I would say that the dude who plays Winter Soldier, I could see him actually kind of playing a good Luke.
Yeah, I think
he has a similar. I'd say he has a similar like facial structure. Man, it would be cool to see like have him continue to grow out the hair, but have like a disheveled Luke who just like kind of goes off and lives in the jungles of Dagobah.
Whoa. I think we don't need another story of him living off like a little hermit, man. We already got that once. I want journeys and him being a badass is what I want.
I would also really want just that. Like, I heard about this scene from one of the Legends books, and I thought this was one of the most badass scenes for Luke Skywalker, where he's in the snow on like this mountain. He's like at the peak of the mountain, and he just gets swarmed by a bunch of stormtroopers. Like the whole 9, like AT-ATs, what is it? I always call them chicken walkers because they're the 2-legged ones. What are they called? The AT something.
ATSTs?
Yeah, ATSTs. Whole bunch of stormtroopers and everything, and then like they swarm him, and then he just turns around to walk away, and then just like everybody just doesn't fuck with him because they're that scared. Like he just walks on by. Like they're there to swarm this motherfucker, but they don't have the balls.
That's the vibe that Gideon gave off.
Yeah.
That would be cool.
Where
that could totally
there's
happen,
an actual
too.
like
I'd
there's
love to see that.
there's a palpable fear
Yeah.
with his presence.
We're not gonna fuck with this guy.
I mean, Gideon tries to off himself.
Yeah. Well, he knows too. Well, he didn't capture Gideon though. He probably tried to off himself because he knew he was gonna lose, and he knows that they're gonna interrogate him, and probably get all kinds of information.
Use their super space mixture of what is it? Sodium pentothal, basically a truth serum. Case of all of you kids who don't know, is a drug that they've used as truth serum, allegedly.
They used it in the first movie, right? Aren't they gonna inject Princess Leia with some truth serum?
Yeah, that's. I mean, they've used it a couple
droid
times.
runs out
like there's. I remember sometimes similar, and I think the Clone Wars where they do something where they use a medical droid like that. Speaking of the Clone Wars and getting information out, the whole like Jedi mind trick that Anakin, Obi-Wan, and Mace Windu do on Cad Bane, that's some fucking scary shit. Do you remember that? Where they basically almost fry his brain?
I think I do.
They literally contemplate on doing
That's
it.
back in season 2, right?
Yeah. Where they have Cad Bane in the prison, and even
that's some Old Republic shit.
Yeah,
that's
they
some
even
stuff
bring
from like
up,
Knights of the Old Republic.
They bring up like, well,
that's
with
like
all
exactly
three
what
of
they
us
do to Revan,
could
basically
damage his brain.
Yeah.
And like that was Ahsoka's in the background in the cell, and she's like, "This is some hard shit right now. I don't know if I like this."
Yeah, the
This
Jedi
is crazy.
have some messed up techniques.
Yeah, 3 people.
They can strip you. They can strip you like the Force of you.
Yeah, yeah.
And just take it away from you. There's this whole thing in KOTOR 2 where, as an exile, you like this thing that you do to declare yourself an exile is you like put your lightsaber into this like ceremonial stone. You like stab it in there, and then you just walk away.
So you basically just like, it's like a physical representation of cutting yourself off from the Force.
Yeah, I guess. You gotta play those, bro.
I do need to play those. Man, maybe I'll get them on my next paycheck.
Dude, they're pretty cheap, dude.
I mean, they are pretty cheap. They're like $10 each.
Yeah.
But like, what was it? So far in the Clone Wars, also I've seen Anakin straight up force choke motherfucker.
Oh yeah, and he went straight through the sun.
Wait. Oh yeah, yeah.
Just walked up behind him, no hesitation.
Yeah, just murked them both.
Yeah.
That was, and even if you notice him behind him, that was some cold fucking look.
Yeah, he doesn't give a shit. He's just
like, he stands there. He is like, yeah, I know what I did. I'm done. We're done. We're going. We're wrapping this shit up. Then let's see. There's this is the Boba show coming this December. Actually, December 21st. So I'm pretty fucking hyped about that.
Yeah, we should get Boba show, and I hope we get Bad Batch also before Boba show.
I'm really curious about the Bad Batch, because that, when I first heard that, it was quite the surprise to me, because I'm like,
me too.
I didn't say I didn't like the Bad Batch episode. It kind of threw me for a loop, because I was like, oh, interesting, okay. Which, I guess, I don't know, did a lot of people like 99? Because I just rewatched that episode of them defending off Kamino in the cloning facility, and 99 and his whole heroics. I'm like, yeah, 99, you get it. Because
was 99 the old guy?
Yeah, he was.
Oh, like, the old guy. I think so. I mean,
yeah, I mean, because the Bad Batch are just the rejects that were actually just like good.
Yeah, they weren't. They didn't think the same, I guess.
And what was
Didn't
99's whole thing? Was he like the 99th one before they got it right in the original batch? Was like number 100?
I think he's just a bad batch.
Well, because the 501st were the 501st clones, right?
I don't think so. Is
Now,
that
then
how
what
it
were the
is?
501st? What was their whole name and gimmick?
I have no idea.
Oh wait,
I
501st.
thought they just assigned them battalions.
Sorry, I got the numbers mixed up. I was thinking 105th.
Oh,
Yeah. So I don't know. I could totally be wrong. I feel like I remember hearing something about like 99 was like a part of the original like first 100 clones that were made, and he was the 99th one, and they got the 100th right.
and then they
Went
were
from
all
there.
just right after that. I have
Yeah.
no idea. I don't remember that. They might have. That'd be cool.
I wonder how much dealings Palpatine actually kept up with on the Camoans. I think that's how you would say it. The cloners on Camino after the Clone Wars.
Kaminoans, I think.
Kaminoans.
Yeah, whatever.
Sorry for anyone who thinks I'm speciesist. But like, because is his cloning technology just his own, or is he using some of the Camino cloning technology? Because in the Mandalorian, the scientist allegedly
Yeah, well, it must
has,
be. Yeah, it must be from them.
Well,
Also,
because-
I guess he studied under them or something. I don't know how he could have the badge of the Kaminoans if he's not a Kaminoan. He just worked there, I suppose.
Yeah.
I mean, well, I wouldn't be surprised if the Emperor had scientists
on Camino.
integrate with them. You know,
I mean, but
I'm sure they'll touch
from
on
what
it more
I
in
know
season
is
3.
the Kaminoans were pretty like, they were like the preppy rich people. They were the equivalent of elves, where they're like, yeah,
They're
we're
doing
too
their own
clean
thing.
to touch you.
Sure.
And so they were also pretty superior intelligence. So they were like, yeah, we're just kind of smarter and all around better than
They
you.
were kind of like they're all about that business.
Yeah,
They are
no, they
like-
were very like, yeah, hey, we're gonna get our money and be wealthy,
Yeah,
but we're gonna do it our way.
There was that one episode of Clone Wars where they have that Kaminoan girl.
Which one, the senator?
Yeah. She
Yeah.
was a senator. She's
Which,
has
because
that, like,
of the
creepy vibe.
cloning, that's actually how they got their seat in the Galactic Council.
Yeah, it is all Palpatine, man.
Oh,
He's
100%.
genius.
Like, well, imagine all the times Palpatine makes hits out for himself
Right.
as both Sidious and Palpatine.
Yeah. All my personalities.
Do you think any of them have gone wrong? And he's just like, hey, hold up. And just murks the dude there. Like, boom, problem solved.
Yeah, Savage Opress.
Yeah. Yeah.
That'll be fun going back. I'm gonna go back and rewatch all those Night Sister episodes.
Yeah.
Watch them all arc and stuff again. It's
I
been a
also
while since I've
enjoyed the
seen all that
Night
stuff.
Sister stuff. Because I was like, I don't know, I enjoyed a lot of the Dathomir stuff too. Because it gives you, well, I mean, Darth Maul was one of the coolest fucking characters in episode 1,
Yeah,
Phantom Menace.
Kind of of all the Star Wars movies.
Yeah.
One of the coolest characters
Yeah.
for sure. Yeah.
Like, whenever I was a kid and I'd see that shit, I'd be like, yeah, he's fucking awesome. Shows you the first fucking double-edged lightsaber.
Right.
Well, like, the whole Dathomir thing, like, you get a lot more, I guess, I wouldn't say a lot more, a little more to it when you play the game, Force not the Force Unleashed.
Star Wars
Fallen
Jedi,
Order.
Fallen Order. Yeah.
Yeah, sorry. Fallen Order.
Yeah, you got to beat it too because you haven't beaten the whole Dathomir section
No, I
yet.
haven't. I'm still at the dude.
There's some stuff I want to talk about.
I guess I mean, my problem with that is I do want to get past that part, but I also want to play the game
Jayce.
while I'm going through.
Beat the game, Jayce.
I mean, but then I'd have to get through the Clone Wars.
No,
I'm only on season 3
that's
of that,
ridiculous.
and then I have to watch episode 3, and then Solo, and then Fallen Order. Or to be Fallen Order, then Solo.
Fallen Order.
Because
When
Fallen
you go
Order
home
is
later.
5 years after Order 66.
Yeah.
And how much is Solo?
Solo is a gap. I don't know exactly when it starts, but movie starts when he's like 14, and then it cuts to like 3 or 4 years later.
Let's say 22 and a half years. Just spitballing, Coruscant time.
Okay.
And then I'd have to play through all of Fallen Order.
Or you could just go home and play it tonight.
I mean, I could just go home and play it tonight because fuck all going tomorrow, except for another back-to-back episode of this.
Back to back.
You know, double recording because we like to save one. But anyways, yeah, it is. I mean, the last time I played it, I got so fucking close to beating this motherfucker. Like, I was like,
Oh, you're on
one-
the boss fight.
yeah, I'm like, I was
Dude,
one hit
I
away
feel
from
you. It
killing
took me a
this
couple
dude.
of days on hard mode. Like, I had to keep stopping and then coming back to it, and I couldn't get it down.
Man,
I
see,
kicked
one of my
ass.
problems is like the timing with a lot of this shit because a lot of games.
But he changes up his moves on you too.
Well, but like
lot.
the parry mechanic is semi-important.
Oh yeah.
Whereas when everybody had this come out, when it first came out, when Jedi Fallen Order first came out, and I will speak my semi-controversial opinion on this. Everybody was comparing it to like, oh, it's so difficult. It's just like Dark Souls. And then when I got it and I played it, I'm like, oh, this isn't like Dark Souls. This is like Sekiro. Because it relies a bit more on the parry mechanic. Whereas Sekiro, if you play From Software games, Dark Souls, the original, just all the Dark Souls, 1, 2, and 3, have a parry mechanic. But in the game, the parry mechanic isn't a dependent thing for playing the game and getting through it. You have the option of either relying on the parry mechanic and using it and getting good with it, or you can make an entire different class that doesn't rely on it whatsoever. The first time I played through it, I didn't even touch the parry button, mainly because I wasn't good at it. In Sekiro, the parry mechanic is a very key thing for it. It's one of the major
It's
gameplay
necessary.
elements. Yeah.
It's like Odyssey and Valhalla. Pretty much everything is parrying.
Yeah, they've added a
Constantly
lot of it,
parrying.
but I've noticed that like with Jedi Fallen Order, the parry mechanic is somewhere in between Sekiro and Dark Souls, where you need to know how to use the
You
parry
have to parry
mechanic.
the blaster bolts.
Yeah,
all the
but it's
time,
not
yeah.
reliant on the parry mechanic. Like it's
Yeah.
semi-reliant on the parry mechanic.
I didn't use it a lot my first playthrough.
Yeah, and you can easily
I've
go
used it a
through it.
lot more the second one though, and
Yeah.
it does make things easier when you get good at it though, for sure.
And that's the whole thing with it. And I'm just terrible at using the parry mechanics. Like,
yeah.
even the first time I went through Dark Souls, I was told, "Oh yeah,
I
this
suck at Dark Souls.
there's this one dude in this one level where he's the best person to use to practice how to use the parry mechanic." I got it a little bit, and then after that, I just never touched it again.
Oh man. Well,
Well,
yeah. On that, I think we're good. Next
Yeah.
week will be what are we gonna do? We're gonna do the wills, right?
yeah, the next one will be the Wills.
Yeah, we'll hop into
'Cause-
season 6. Look at some of
Because
that
like I
stuff.
said, Yoda learned some shit about that. It doesn't really tell anyone.
Yeah.
I still kind of want to know why he doesn't. But yeah, next episode we'll talk about the Wills also in the Clone Wars, and maybe I would have beat the dude on Dathomir. Who knows?
Yeah, we'll
Probably
see.
not.
We'll see if you be the dude on Dathomir. You should go
Yeah.
home and play it though.
I should. May the Force be with you, everyone, and peace.
All right, later, guys.